What's going on, guys? So Peter Berg's newest film, Lone Survivor, it sneaks its way into this year and it eventually expands wider in January. But that limited release to get it in this year kind of changes the expectations of the film in that it's going to be of higher quality and eventually be possibly in the awards race if they want to kind of push it out this year. And with that, you expect it to be better than maybe you did before when it was just a January movie. I don't like that. What's up, guys? So Peter Berg's newest film, Lone Survivor, sneaks its way into this year by coming out the last week of December and then later on expanding wider in January to make the money. But it's that limited release date which kind of gives you a different way of thinking and changes your expectations a bit because that release date indicates that it's of higher quality and could be in awards contention. And for the most part, I don't see exactly why it wouldn't be. I don't know if it'll win anything, but it certainly deserves to be mentioned. But going with Peter Berg for a second here, this without going into the actual story, it's funny because a lot of people shit on Peter Berg for Battleship and how horrible that movie is, and it is bad. But he only did that to get financing to make this movie, and if that's what it takes to get films like this, I guess we're just going to have to bear it and sit back and watch those shitty films if it leads into better films for better filmmakers, and hopefully a film like this is enough for his next movie to get financed without having to make a compromise of sorts. And Peter Berg's great. I mean, Friday Night Lights, the movie was great. The TV show that it got adapted to was great, and I heard The Kingdom was really good, even though I have not seen it yet, but I've been meaning to. But switching back to Lone Survivor, it's essentially about four Navy SEALs who kind of get dropped off in the mountains of Afghanistan next to this village, and they have to take out a target that's connected with Osama bin Laden. And when the mission gets compromised, they have to make a choice, and when they decide to run, things go bad and they kind of get surrounded by the Taliban, and they have to kind of fight their way out and survive against a battle between the movie made it seem like there's at least 50 of them in this whole army worth in the village, and it's really intense. The movie starts off a little slow. It's introducing the characters and kind of developing a small background. It doesn't go into much detail, which I find kind of relaxing because I just kind of wanted to get into the action, and once it establishes a little bit about them and kind of gives you an idea of who they are, so it allows you to connect with each of the SEALs in your own way, it gets right into that mission, and it quickly gets compromised, and for the next like 45 minutes it's just a non-stop bullets flying back to back, SEALs working as one, picking off these Taliban, just fighting as one, surviving and trying to get the hell out of there and basically get within range so they can get on the comms and try to get an extraction. And this thing lasts 45 minutes, and it's just unbelievable how tense it can get and how bloody and violent and brutal it got. And I don't know how they managed to just keep going because so much crap happens to them that a lot of people, including myself, would just give up. But this film did a great job of it, and it never felt tacky. It was tense. It was very well done. And for a sequence that lasted 50 minutes and had absolutely almost no downtime of stopping to talk for a bit, it was just pure gun shooting. It was very well done, and I enjoyed it very much. It's probably my favorite part of the movie. And then it kind of does a genre flip because the next 45 minutes is kind of on the run, little gunfight, more of trying to survive in the jungle, or not jungle, in the forest, in the woods, in the mountains, and just kind of getting a chance to sit back and relax after that intense 45-minute shootout. And I mean, it ends up having gunfights and a little bit of weaponry and a little more violence, but it's definitely more chilled back from the previous 45 minutes, and it's well done. And the ending to the movie really couldn't have ended any other way because it's a true story, so you can't deviate. And I enjoyed it. I mean, the voiceover is a little cheesy for me, but I mean, if that's one of your only complaints, I guess that's a tiny flaw in an otherwise good movie. The four seals were played by Taylor Kitch, and they were all great. Taylor Kitch, who he played the leader of them. I don't know if you call him a sergeant or a lieutenant, but he was in charge, and I thought he was great, and kind of rubbed off the idea that last year was kind of a fluke, because it's not really him, it's the script he was given with Savages, John Carter, and Battleship. Here he was perfectly fine, and I enjoyed him very much. Then Ben Foster continues to usually be the best thing about any movie he's in. I love the dude, and he can make a bad movie watchable, and he excels in this movie, and it's really a showcase of what he's capable of doing when he's actually given a lot of work. And then the third one was Emilie Hirsch, who kind of plays against character because he's this badass Marine, and I'm usually accustomed to him playing like a nerdy loser type character who's trying to find a way in life. And here he takes hits just as much as the next guy, and he's very good in this movie. And then the fourth one, who is Mark Whalberg, who is kind of like the star of the movie. And it's weird because at the beginning of the movie, they're all kind of given the exact same amount of screen time. If anything, Mark Wahlberg's the least amount of screen time. And then slowly, the A-list star in him kind of pops up, and they start focusing more on his character and giving him all the screen time. And it's not really his fault, but it's Mark Wahlberg when I'm watching him. He does not kind of break out a character, and I wish that his star Aurora or whatever, I wish that would have been overtaken by the actual character, so I didn't really focus too much on him. But I mean, all four of them were great, and I loved the other three, and Mark Whalberg was fine, very good, and he was enjoyable. And overall, all four of them made four compelling characters that when combined, made this movie great, and the whole story was worth telling, and it's a great movie. I wouldn't necessarily call it a war movie, which some people have called. It's mainly four SEALs trying to survive, and Peter Berg did the true story justice, if I'm to believe most of this is accurate, and I really am excited to see what Peter Berg can do later on. And I don't know if this will end up winning any awards. I certainly don't think any of the acting is award worthy, but I wouldn't be against getting some recognition. I mean, it's a very well made, great movie, and for that I am going to give Lone Survivor a 9 out of 10. And if you liked my review, give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and until next time, guys, I'll see you later.